Have you ever looked at your bills and thought, I'm working full time, but I still feel broke? I remember staring at my rent, my groceries, my gas tank, wondering if I would ever catch up. I was doing everything right, working a steady IT job, earning a salary, showing up every day. And still, by the time bills hit, it felt like I had nothing left to breathe with. And then the wildest thing happened. I found myself getting paid over $2,500 a month on top of my IT salary. Let me say it was tax-free just because I was in school. Not because I worked overtime, not because I started a side hustle, literally just for being enrolled in classes. And the craziest part is that $2,500 was more than enough to cover my $1,400 rent, my utilities, my food, my gas, and all the small things that hit up a paycheck. And even after that, there was still money left over. That is when it hit me. My whole life until that point, I had been playing on hard mode. I want you to really think about this for a second. Have you ever worked 40 hours a week, maybe more, and still found yourself broke by the end of the month? You are not reckless, let me tell you that. You are not lazy. You are doing what society told you to do. Go to work, collect your paycheck, pay your bills, and that's it. But when you add up the numbers, it does not work. The math is not mathing. Rent, it's 1/3, sometimes half. Gas, take more every day. Groceries, climb every year. Insurance, phone bill, internet. By the time you get to the end, you are left with scraps. That was me. And I think that is most people nowadays. Because, let me be honest, the system is not designed to let you get ahead. The system is designed to keep you just comfortable enough to keep showing up to work every single day. So when I first saw $2,500 hit my bank account just for going to school, it shook me because it was not just money. It was proof that maybe life didn't have to be so hard. I didn't go back to school out of passion. It's not like, I like studying, whatever. I was not the type of saying, I just love classroom and textbook. No, I went because I knew there were benefits attached. But even then, I didn't realize how crazy it was. I had like 3 master's degrees and 2 master's degrees that I took with that money actually. Most people think the GI Bill is just tuition coverage. Go to college for free. That is all you hear. That's what people are civilian or sometimes some soldier hear. But what they don't tell you is that the GI Bill comes with a monthly housing allowance called BAH that get paid to you directly into your bank account. That's free. And for me, that BAH was over $2,500 a month. It varies depending on your city and your state. Now think about that for a second. Imagine somebody dropping $2,500 into your bank account every single month. That's free, no string attached, just because you are enrolled in classes. What will you do with that? Will you pay your rent? Will you use it for food? Will you save it? Will you invest it? Because for me, it covered everything. Let me show you what it looked like in my real life at the time. Rent was $1,400, utilities $200, groceries $400, gas and random expenses $200 to $300, all covered by the $2,500. That means my IT paycheck at the time, the salary I was working full-time for, became extra money. Pure surplus, pure profit. Money I could save, invest, or use however I wanted. I use it to invest crazy. Do you know how different life feels when your living cost, your living expenses are already paid before your job paycheck even hits? Have you ever experienced that? For me, it was like taking the weight of the world off my shoulders. For the first time, I was not surviving, I was building. I will never forget the first time I paid rent with that BAH money. It was the first of the month. Normally, that day came with stress, but this time, I just logged into my bank account, saw the deposit, paid rent, paid utilities, and I still had money left over. And then, when my IT paycheck dropped later in the month, I realized, wait, I don't even need this check to survive anymore. This is just extra money. That is freedom. That's key. Most people never experience that. Most people's paycheck are already gone before they hit their bank account. I had a rare moment where money came in, bills were covered, and I still had another income stream untouched. That is when I realized this benefit is not just free school, it is a lifestyle hack. Now, here's the thing. Nobody policies this money. No receipt, they don't ask you if you're paying your rent with that money. No rules about what you spend it on. For me, I use it to cover the basics, rent, bills, groceries, gas. Some months I use it to handle also some wellness like a gym, supplement, stuff that made me better. Okay, but I knew guys who took it further. Let me explain. Some people lived with their family, so they don't have no rent to pay. They pocket the full money, 2,500 in that instance, every month, stack it for years, and walk away with 60k to 80k saved. I have seen others use it to invest in stock, real estate, small businesses, literally turning school money into long-term wealth. And the best part, while all this is happening, your tuition is also being paid directly in full to your school. So you are not only stacking money, you are stacking education and credentials. That is how I walk away with 2 master degrees debt-free, okay, while getting paid the entire time. Now, let me tell you something that frustrates me the most. Most veterans never touch this. They don't know about it, or sometimes like they know about it, but they just know about surface level. They don't go back to school. They think school is not for me. That's what they say. Or they misunderstand and think the GI Bill is only tuition. So they miss the housing allowance completely. There are some deep benefits that you have to dig to know the ins and outs. Let me ask you, if someone offered you 2,500 a month, that's free, you don't pay tax on it, just to go to school, will you say no? Most vets do. And that is why they stay broke. They walk away from tens of thousands of dollars because nobody sat them down and explained the real game. Now, let's compare these two civilians. Most college students go into debt. They borrow 40k, 80k, sometimes 100k. They spend years paying it back with interest. They stress every month about loans. Meanwhile, I was collecting 2,500 a month, covering my living expenses and stacking a credential for free. Which path will you choose? Tell me the truth. Which path will you choose? Will you rather pay for the privilege of going to school or get paid to go? I will give you a real story to illustrate this. I had a buddy who got out of the military the same time as me, basically. He said, nah, I don't want to sit in classroom again. He skipped school entirely. Fast forward, he's working a regular job, barely scraping by. Stress, always broke. I feel sorry for him. Me, I was stacking 2,500 a month, covering my expenses, getting 2 master degrees, and saving my IT salary. Same service we did, same starting point, 2 different choices, so 2 different lives. And let me be real with you for a second. This was not just about money. It was about what the money represented, basically. What the money represented for me. It represented peace of mind. It represented knowing my rent would get paid on time. It represented groceries in the fridge, gas in my car, and not stressing about whether I could afford it or not. That's what I want for most people. That's why I'm sharing this, I'm making this video. It gave me breathing room. And with that breathing room, I could actually focus on the future. When you are not stressed, you think big. You think about like what is next, instead of constantly worrying about the present. That is priceless. And I wish everybody can experience that. Most people live in survival mode. They are 1 paycheck away from disaster, 1 car breakdown, 1 medical bill, 1 missed shift away from chaos. This benefit pulled me out of that. It gave me cushion, a foundation. And when you have that, you can think bigger. You can plan ahead. You can build. That is why this matters. It is not about free money. It is about the freedom that money creates. Freedom. That is big. So yeah, that is how I got paid over 2,500 a month just to sit in class. Not because I was lucky, not because I had connection, but because I learned how to use a benefit that was already mine. I didn't steal it. And here is the truth. Most people will never use it. They will walk away from tens of thousands of dollars. They will keep playing life on hard mode. But once you know the game, you will never look at money the same way again, because life is not supposed to be a constant struggle. Sometimes the system has cheat codes built in. You just need to learn them. The question is whether you are willing to learn them or not. Peace. I'm gone.